More than 8,000 miles from home, a group of visitors from New Zealand finding a piece of its history in, where else? Clintonville.
And they are in Wisconsin, of course, for AirVenture, but they made time for a stop at the FWD Seagrave Museum. Samantha Cavalli knows a little bit about this museum, has the story.
For aviation fans from New Zealand, a trip to Oshkosh is a dream vacation. But before AirVenture, this group makes a stop in Clintonville to explore a piece of Wisconsin history with connections halfway around the world.
This was a long-distance call I didn't expect from New Zealand.
Historian Daryl Schrader says the connection began 5 years ago when he received a call from the tour group looking for stops to add before their time at AirVenture.
And it was very interesting to talk to them about the history and the history of between the two countries and the military history in particular. And that's how we got in touch.
And we heard about this with the trucks and things, and a lot of our guys that come up are farmers or are people with interest in all these sort of things.
The FWD Seagrave Museum is filled with historic trucks, military vehicles, and fire apparatus. FWD, short for four-wheel drive, built trucks that were sent overseas during World War II, including to Australia and New Zealand. For Colin Wade, this is his third visit to the museum and his 20th trip to Oshkosh. He says each stop brings something new to discover.
Every year I see a couple of new ones, or some have been changed, and find out more about the history about them. So, you know, and the people there are great. They tell us everything that's happening, and each time you learn a little bit more.
For George Thompson, visiting the museum for the first time, the collection is just as memorable as the journey.
It's mind-boggling, really. You know, the collection, it's really, really special.
And while the long flight may be exhausting, these visitors say the journey is well worth it for the planes, the people, and the history they can take back home.
I'm a history buff overall. I just love to learn things, and whatever I learn, I like to teach people too.
The group also on Sunday took a tour of the National Railroad Museum and also did a drive-by of Lambeau Field. If you're looking to come to the action here in Oshkosh, you have from now through Sunday to do so. Reporting in Oshkosh, Samantha Cavalli, Action 2 News.